Hey friend, do you ever have that feeling of coulda, woulda, shoulda? You know, when we come to the end of a year, we often look back on the previous year and we think about the things that we would have liked to achieve, but we didn't. And it's so easy sometimes to make excuses for not doing some of those things. So today's episode is all about creating a bucket list. And I do have an amazing resource for you that is going to help you with this. So please make sure that you are subscribed to my email list because that will be popping into your email inbox this week. Okay, go grab a pen and paper and let's dive in. Hey friend, welcome to the Fit Productive Mum podcast. I'm your host SJ. I'm an outspoken women's health advocate, productivity guru, daughter of the king, and a 40-something mum to a sassy, independent daughter. If you feel stressed out, overwhelmed, and hate what you see in the mirror, then that stops right here. I'm here to arm you with the knowledge you need to better understand your mind and body so that you can live a life free of diets, fitness fads, and comparison. If you're ready to commit to making yourself a priority, to reconnect with your body and be a present, productive parent, then this is the podcast for you. Grab that superfood smoothie and let's dig in. Hey friend, before we dig into today's episode, I want to invite you to get yourself entered to win some free one-to-one coaching with me. Now, the way that you can do that is by writing a 5-star written review for this podcast, take a screenshot of it, send it to me in an email, and each month I'm going to be choosing 4 people at random to be entered to win a 30-minute one-to-one unstuck session with me. This is perfect for you if you are feeling like you're stuck in a rut. Maybe you're stuck in a rut with your fitness. Maybe you've hit a weight loss plateau. Maybe you are struggling to find the time in your schedule to get in your workouts or to do your meal prep. Or maybe you don't know what classes you should be doing using your online platform or what classes to go and do at the gym. Well, that is what we can do in that 30-minute sessions. Now, if you would like to be entered to win the free coaching, all you need to do is write a 5-star written review for this podcast, take a screenshot of it and email me at the email that is in the show notes. And my email is theproductivemum@gmail.com. And each month I'm going to be choosing 4 people to win those coaching sessions. And don't worry, if you are not lucky enough to win one of those sessions, you can still grab one. The link to that is in the show notes. They really are like short, punchy sessions where you're going to walk away with a really, really clear goal, with a plan of action and knowing the steps that you need to take next so that you can get yourself out of that rut. Okay, so let's go back to today's episode because it's really easy at this time of year to be thinking about your goals that you've got for 2023. And I don't know about you, but I can sometimes find myself like looking back on the year that I've just had and feeling like a sense of regret. Like I haven't done enough or I haven't achieved the things that I wanted to, which is why I think it's a really good idea, and one of the things that I've actually done for myself is to create like a 2023 bucket list. And it's not something that I've actually really ever done before. And I think part of that, I mean, if you think about it's nearly 3 years now since we first experienced COVID and we were going into lockdown, and really the past 3 years have been incredibly restrictive on us. We haven't been able to perhaps do the traveling that you might want to do or to see the people that you would normally see. And I think a lot of us, and I do include myself in this, have become quite sort of like home based, and we perhaps haven't gone out of our comfort zone and done some things that we would have perhaps normally done because we've sort of been in this COVID bubble for the past 3 years. So it got me thinking about regrets, like living life to the full. And I'm sure you've seen loads and loads of quotes and memes on social media about 2023 being your year, and I'm all on board for that. Like, I am so up for like the positive, wipe the slate clean, moving on. But I really think it's important to have a plan. And that's why I'm coming at you with this 23 in 23 bucket list. And it's a PDF resource where it's just kind of gives you some ideas of things that you might want to add and create a bucket list for yourself. You know, maybe there's places you want to go, or there's people in your family that live across the other side of the world that you've never like seen, or you haven't seen them in a really, really long time. I don't know, whatever it is. Or maybe there's some food that you want to try. And, you know, having like these desires for something new and something different is really, really normal. It's just part of our human nature. But as Christians, we do have to be a little bit wary between, you know, wanting to try different things and exploring all of the world that is out there on offer, because of course this world has been created by God, but also that fine line between enjoying that, but also not making those things idols. And that's why I've created this 23 and 23 bucket list, because it's something that perhaps you could sit down with your family, you could talk about it with your husband, with your, you know, your friends, your family, your kids, and, you know, come together and really sort of think about the things that you would like to achieve, the new things that you might like to try in 2023. Now, I also dug into like some scripture, because I'm always really wary of these kind of things and memes that you see about, you know, oh, I want to spend my whole life traveling and I want to earn so much money that I can do X, Y, and Z and have this amazing house and that sort of thing. And I have a really, really great Bible study that I use. It's called Day by Day with God, and it's a really small little book, and it's titled Rooting Women's Lives in the Bible, and I will put the link to it in the show note. It's a really affordable, lovely Bible study that is written by women for women, and it comes out, it's like a small book that's published every 4 months, and it's about £4, like UK. So I don't know what that equates to in your currency, but they do send it out internationally. And the start of the year, I opened a new Bible study. And one of the passages in there, it was talking about like feelings of contentment, but then one of them was also linked to human nature. And the Bible study passage that they were referring to was Ecclesiastes 3, 9 to 14, and this is actually from the Message version. And in the Message it says, I've decided that there's nothing better to do than go ahead and have a good time and get the most we can out of life. That's it. Eat, drink, and make the most of your job. It's God's gift. Now, if you're like me, it's really easy to beat yourself up about not being grateful for what you have. But ultimately, one of the things that this writer is referring to is the fact that, you know, we are inherently going to struggle with this issue because we're just human. And we think, if you think back to Adam and Eve, they were living in paradise, but yet they were tempted and they wanted something else and something different and something better. So this desire that we have is quite normal. And one of the things that they write in this Bible study at the end is that he concludes that it is right that we should keep wanting more. It means that we push ourselves, and we push ourselves to invent, to create, to be better, and to make better lives for ourselves and for others, and to make the most of every moment. But our dissatisfaction with the world, with things, should also mean that we start looking for God. And that's really crucial, isn't it? Because how many stories have you heard of people who have, you know, all the money in the world, all of the things, but they're still not happy? And that's why I think creating a bucket list is a really, really good idea, because you are going to be putting on those things that you want to try. Maybe it's something really simple like going to a new restaurant, but all of those experiences are going to bring, a real sense of enjoyment and pleasure to your life, and that is absolutely okay. And if you're partnering with God in this process, and this world that we live in is ultimately created by Him, that is there to be enjoyed. But perhaps maybe some of the things that you might put on your bucket list is actually to spend more time with God, or to connect more with the people in your church, in your community, to work on your relationship with your partner, with your children, whatever it might be. So I really encourage you to use the resource to create your own bucket list for 2023, but to do it mindfully, to pray about it, to partner with God in the process. And I really, really hope that resource is helpful to you. I hope that maybe you might want to share it with me. I mean, you can always pop into my emails. I love to hear from you. Share what your bucket list is, or share something that's on your bucket list for 2023. Now, before you go, I just want to remind you that you can grab yourself some free coaching with me. All you need to do is leave a 5-star written review for the podcast, take a screenshot of it, send it over to me at the email address that is in the show notes. If you are one of those wonderful people who has already written a 5-star review on the podcast, you can still be entered, because you can send me a screenshot of your review that you have written previously, or perhaps you might want to edit it or update it. You can still send that to me via my email address. I hope you have an amazing week, my friend. Don't forget to subscribe to the email list so that you get the resources. Have an amazing week, my friend. I'm thinking of you. I am praying for you. And I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode. I hope you loved today's episode and that you learned something. And I pray it blessed you in some way. If so, take a moment to share this with a friend, and I would love it if you could take just 30 seconds for me to leave a review on Apple Podcasts, because it's the only way I know you like the show, and I love hearing from you too.